All the lenses that I own for both photo and video purposes are all Canon. Some are L series, some are the cheap ones, but I wanted to try out these new Sigma Art Series lenses, both the 18-35 and the 50-100 for a while now. So in this video, I'm going to do a little review and share my experiences using both of these. If you follow some of the most subscribed to tech YouTube channels out there, like MKBHD or TLD, or I think even Austin Evans now is using these Sigma lenses. This 18-35 is kind of the go-to for someone like Marquez or Jonathan to film those really close-up shots of phones and other tech devices and such, and to be able to shoot at an aperture of 1.8 on a zoom lens is really nice. Same with this 50-100, the aperture opens up all the way to f1.8, but what I really love about this 18-35 is how close this focuses. So you can get some really cool shots where you get up really close to a piece of tech, like this shot of the loop deck that I reviewed, and you can get this lens within inches of what you're reviewing with a really shallow depth of focus, depth of field focus on the front part of whatever that is, and you can still see everything behind, but it's completely blurred out. There's really beautiful bokeh with it. So using this thing at its widest focal length of 18 is really great, but also if you're using it at 35, I've been filming some talking head stuff on my Red with it at 35 mil, and it's very standard looking. So this is just a good all-around lens. The focus ring is really smooth, which is great. It has a decent throw, maybe be like 120 degrees, so like a third of the barrel you're getting on the turn. And it has autofocus or manual focus switch, but what it doesn't have is image stabilization. So I tried to use this handheld a little bit at a wider, distance, a wider zoom, and you do see some shake, not quite as bad as other lenses I've tested at this focal length, but there still is no image stabilization in this lens. And then going to the 50-100, I was actually a little disappointed in a few regards to this lens. One was just the sheer weight. This thing weighs like a 70-200, if you're familiar with how heavy a Canon L series 2.8 70-200 is, but it is a beautiful lens. I couldn't see myself using this for a long period of time to take portrait photos or to film handheld with, because it's a pretty heavy lens. But what you're getting is a standard 50 mil all the way to 100. And the biggest bummer to me about this is how close you can focus. You're only getting within 2 to 3 feet of what you're trying to focus on. So this isn't going to be a good macro lens. If you're trying to get 100 mil macro or 50 mil macro, you're gonna need a separate lens for that. But this lens is beautiful. The ability to be at 1.8 aperture through the whole zoom range, you can't really beat that in a zoom lens, because it's just typically not an option. But it is a heavier lens. It even comes with the tripod mount adapter ring that you can, take off or shift if you need to. But this again also is a very fast lens, focuses super fast in autofocus, and it has a very shallow depth of field. I would recommend these two lenses. Like if you were starting from scratch and you had to pick two lenses to use for photo and video, if you picked up these two, that would be an amazing combination, because they're not as expensive as some of the Canon L series lenses or some of the other brands if you're doing this on a different mount other than EF, but you're getting a good focal range. You're getting from 18 all the way to 100, which for most circumstances is going to be pretty much everything you need. And you have that standard aperture at 1.8 throughout, so you can get some really shallow depth of field shots. And if I was building my lens collection from scratch and I needed to do both stills and video, these are probably the two lenses I would go with. So I need to package these up and send these back to B&H because I've been testing them for about a month. So special thanks to B&H for sending them to me to review. But if you're interested in either of these lenses or learning more about exactly how much they weigh or what the price is for today, definitely go to B&H and check them out down in the description below this video. I've been Wojcik, and I'll see you in the next one.